best part of the evening is coming up. Again, serendipity, I think so, because it's my pleasure now to introduce Chris Mayer, the publisher of the Boston Globe.
Thank you very much, everyone. So first of all, the Globe is extremely pleased to be able to be a media sponsor for this event. It's a tremendous gathering, and it is doing extremely meaningful work. But that isn't really what I'm here to talk about. Tonight I have the honor of presenting the Global Generation Award to Eliza Dushku. And I'd actually like to speak to both components of the award, since both are very relevant to this recognition. Commitment to global justice and inspiring the next generation of global leaders. Now, they're already worried I'm going to run long because I was only supposed to have 2 minutes, but Senator, isn't that the great thing about having the floor? I get to make my point. So, bear with me. First, commitment to global justice. Global justice is an issue in political philosophy arising from the concern that the world at large is unjust. Perhaps a world where for more than 20 years civil war raged, leaving many to not know a time when violence wasn't a part of their lives, where children were kidnapped and forced to become soldiers, where women were forced into sex slavery, and where the scars of war are left on bodies, minds, and souls, where lost limbs, low life expectancy, and high suicide rates are a byproduct of 2 decades of fighting. Some speak of this happening to northern Uganda. In point of fact, it didn't. It happened to the people of northern Uganda, real people who need real help. So if what we have here is the need for global justice, then what is a commitment to global justice? It is not the academic musings that evoke pathos for an unfortunate situation. That would be philosophical support. A commitment to global justice is doing something about a situation that is intolerable and making it better. For former child soldiers of the Civil War in northern Uganda, the Trauma Healing and Reflection Center, THARCE-Gulu, will make life better. With a hope to begin building by the end of the year, THARCE-Gulu will create a place of safety where there are opportunities to learn, creatively express ideas, and develop skills to, as Ms. Dushku has said, help these children rehabilitate and reintegrate into their community. But how does something like this become a reality? People work for it. And that is what Ms. Dushku has been doing. Inspired by her mother's efforts and firsthand experience, Ms. Dushku's efforts leave a lasting and positive impact on people, real people who will receive real help. And that is a true commitment to global justice. Now, for the second component of the award, inspiring the next generation of global leaders. There's the sort of obvious point to make, right? She's from here, and look at all that she's done, right? That can certainly serve as a role model to many. But let's take a look at the word inspiration, because there is another point to make, and it really embodies the specialness of what Ms. Dushku's efforts have led to. The word inspiration comes from the Latin, inspiratus, in, meaning into or in, and the root spire, meaning to breathe. To breathe into someone an idea or a motivation to act. Breathing into someone establishes a very close relationship, which is why inspiration is actually about making a very personal connection with others. I heard of Ms. Dushku's 30-30-30 effort in support of THARCE-Gulu. So I did what many of us might have done. I went online and searched for 30-30-30. Top results to speak of. Fashion. 30 outfits, 30 items, 30 days, so one can learn one's way through his or her closet by remixing clothes. Not something I've done. Fitness. 30 push-ups, 30 squats, 30 crunches every day for 30 days. Obviously not. Life coaching. 30 friends have 30 coaching sessions in 30 days. This is all on the first page of search results when you look for 30-30-30, and I'm just 27 friends shy from being able to sign up for that. But then there's Ms. Dushku's version. $30,000 by December 30th of last year, which happens to have been when she turned 30. I like her version of 30-30-30 best. A birthday is a personal thing, and yet it is also universal. With this generous act of her 30-30-30 effort, she showed all of us how we can get involved in things that mean a lot to us. We all have birthdays, some of us more than we care to discuss. But on that day, we are the recipients of generosity, of things that are special to us, perhaps gifts, certainly affection. Imagine taking a day that was meant for each of us and making it about others with gifts and affection. So in addition to supporting THARCE-Gulu, Ms. Dushku provided us with a very personal example that she breathed into us. It applies to all of us, and it serves to inspire us. That's some very cool breathing. And I, for one, am glad that this inspiration goes beyond just the next generation of global leaders and applies to us all, at least all of us with birthdays that serve as a reminder. So, Ms. Dushku, for both your commitment to global justice and inspiring the next generation of global leaders and beyond, please accept this Global Generation Award.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm so moved. I was like blown away. I didn't expect just all of that. Thank you, and thank everybody here. It's just been such an incredible day. I admire the students and the organizers that have put this together. I was literally contacted on my Twitter account to come and attend this, and I was told that I was being, honored with, that I was to be honored with an award. And, I spoke today about how I followed my mother into this world and into her works of service and just good to all people. I'm my mother's biggest fan. But she, of course, is a professor at Suffolk University, and my brothers and I have, we always, it was second nature to follow her and all of her deeds through our lives. But it really was in the last couple of years. I tripped and fell into Hollywood. I never planned to be an actress, but it sort of found me. And for a number of years, I struggled with sort of what to do with that voice. And I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, feeling like I felt like I was going to be found out any day. That I really didn't know much about acting, but I knew a lot about the world from my mother and my upbringing. And in the last few years, I've really started to combine those two things. And we made this trip to Uganda 2.5 years ago, and my mother had just taught a course about the child soldiers and the conflict in northern Uganda. And she's been teaching African politics, and she had been all over Africa. But she really had a this is the place kind of moment. And the people we met and the stories we heard, it moved us to do something. And to the way everybody jumped in with their energy and their focus and their time. And then when I got home, I thought, how can I galvanize people that I know that if people knew what was happening, they would want to do something. I know they would want to help. They may not know what a Gulu is right now, but they will know, and they did. And there was a shift in me when I did my 30-30-30 campaign, where I went from following my mother for so many years, and it started to feel mine, and I really started to feel on a cellular level. It was almost a spiritual feeling of, that it was such a fulfilling, and I was so full of gratitude, and it made me realize what sort of my 30s on are going to be about. And being at a conference like this and seeing Jason Russell, who I just have so much respect and admiration for, it really is about collaboration, and that's one of the things I heard spoken about a lot today. People joining together, and we're allies in this, and we can cooperate with one another. And I know the school of thought that maybe people should pick one charity and stick behind it, and I respect that. But I also have found that THARCE-Gulu is my first organization that I'm starting from the ground up, but there are so many. I had a friend who asked me recently, we had a mutual friend, Alyssa Milano, another actress, and he said, have you donated to Alyssa Milano's kitten rescue? And I said, to be honest, no. I love kittens. I love kittens, let's get that straight, but I feel like I sort of stand behind humans and children and women, and I've just never really done a lot of animal rescue work. And he said, I actually kind of agree with you, but it means something to Alyssa, and Alyssa means something to us, and you know, that alone, I mean, what does it really take? We're on this huge new social media platform, a retweet where I can retweet something and network, and I have 1 million followers on Facebook and Twitter, and a lot of them are probably bored, and you know, they want to know, and so it's this networking, this just lending your time and your energy to work together and support one another and be allies. That's what I've found is it's a fun, inspiring, and it's an incredible way to be involved in the change and all the good that everybody's doing. So I just applaud everybody. I'm so, like I said, I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful to my family. I really would not be here without my Boston family. You guys are my peeps. You support me, and we do this together, and we do this with everybody now in this room. And I'm interested to hear from you. We have questions. There are challenges we're facing with THARCE-Gulu. A number of incredible things happening, but we want to ask for help and hear what you can share with us so that we can be better and we can do better together. Thank you so much.